Albin Ouschan gave me this advice in the first podcast I ever recorded for Pocketed. After I asked him how to play a certain shot, he for sure and he of course explained me how to do it theoretically. But then he said something which really made me think. He said, Norbert, you have to put the work in. You cannot buy your way to success. You cannot cheat your way to success. You just have to put the work in. It's a very harsh truth. It's a very brutal message. And that's what taught me to work on the things I don't like. And one thing I really hated and still do is playing drills. And therefore, in this video, I want to show you why playing drills is so beneficial when you want to improve your game. And I'm going to live comment when I play the drill, so you can understand why I chose certain patterns and what's going on in my mind, which is not an easy thing to do, but let's give it a shot.
Yeah, this is how the drill is set up. In the middle of the table you got the 9 ball. First ball to shoot is the 1. Then you transition over to the 2 ball, then back over to the 3 ball, back again to the 4 ball, and so on. And you try to play the 5, 6, 7 and 8. The biggest challenge is the 9 ball in the middle of the table, blocking the path of your cue ball to get position. Yeah, you definitely have to put work into this drill here.
And also a partner inside performance coaching put it exactly the same way. I'm going to play this drill in 2 different versions. In the first version, I tried to keep the white ball tight, meaning playing tight positional shots and not trying to lose the cue ball too much around the table. And in the second version, I focus on using longer shots, so to improve my long shot game or 2-rail, 3-rail game when playing this drill. And as you can see, it's not only about just playing the drill, because you can play one drill in different ways.
Let's get started here. I start with the 1 ball in the middle pocket because it makes the most sense to me, because it's the easiest position for me to get onto the 2 ball, as you see here. I left myself quite of an angle to get over to the 3 ball using the long rail. Flirting with the 9 ball is intended because I know I have to get close to the 3 ball, so I don't have too much angle onto the opposite long rail. Now I'm really concentrating to get myself in line onto the 3 ball. You see I put not too much backspin onto the cue ball, rather a little bit more side spin to get proper onto the 4 ball. I'm in prime position here, using the long rail again, trying to do the same thing, using the long rail. Spin takes very good, and again got the right angle, perfect position to do basically the same thing. This time I definitely will use a little bit more force because it's a rather flat angle, but I tried to let the spin grab off the long rail to get another perfect angle onto the 6 ball, because not to forget, my goal at this part, at the version 1, is to always do the same thing, try to use the long rails. Here I drew the ball a little bit more, and this is the first shot where I'm not drawing the balls, but again trying to use the opposite long rail to get onto the 8 ball. Here I don't try to use too much right spin because I don't want to flirt too much with the 9 ball, so rather just high to still get a proper angle onto the 8 ball. And the only thing left for me to do right now is to put a little bit bottom left onto the cue ball, use the long rail, get prime position onto the 9 ball, yeah, and just kick the 9-ball into the middle pocket. And that's about it.
So as mentioned, you can apply various goals when you play a specific drill.
Yeah, in the second version, I tried to use more long shots, so completely opposite to the version 1. That's also the reason why I start differently. So I line up basically with all the other balls with my cue ball, little bit bottom, maybe a little bit touch of left-hand spin to get perfectly onto the 2-ball and do the same thing on the other side, stun the ball over, in this case, to the 3-ball. What I'm always doing, I'm always checking my alignment, I'm always checking the angles before I shoot. So if you look at my body movement, I always check the angles, I always check if everything is perfect, as I'm doing right now, and then I just walk into the shot. So I never shoot a shot when my pre-shot routine is not in place. Here it's very important that I don't push too much top left-hand spin on the cue ball, just a little bit top. And you see, I try to stay on this line I drew here into this video. So basically in line with those 3 remaining object balls, because that leaves me the perfect angle to go 2 rails onto the 5-ball. So that's what's in my head right now, not using too much top left-hand spin, maybe just top, touch of a hair of top. And I underhit this ball a little bit, but not a problem. That's what drills are for. So I realize I underhit the ball a little bit, checking the angles, checking where I need to be, where I need to hit the object ball, walk into the shot, and do the same thing. Don't try to put too much top left, just a hair, just a touch, English. And I try to align with those 2 bottom object balls again, same line, actually perfect. That's what I intended, that's where I wanted to be. And then I try to do the same thing. Now I try to actually hit it a little bit harder, and in the moment I stroke the cue, the ball, I realized that I underhit the ball like massively. But that's also what drills are for. I realized that from this side, for whatever reason, I underhit the balls. Definitely gonna have this in mind when I play this drill again. And what I learned from practicing with pros, in these situations, don't underhit the ball. Properly use 2, 3, or even 4 rails to get position onto the 8, so don't be afraid to stroke the ball. Back in the days when I was more of a beginner, I definitely would have tried to hold the ball or to do some inside English stuff. That's definitely not necessary. Just let the cue ball run, trust the rails, and you will be fine. And in this situation, just drawing the ball over to the long rail, getting position onto the 9-ball, and just dropping the 9-ball into the middle pocket. And that's about it. That's how I would play this drill when I would like to play a couple of rails and not getting tight position all the time.
Maybe you also want to watch a video which I'm going to link up here, where I'm explaining in detail how to use a drill to your benefit. So what you want to focus on is that you set yourself goals when you play a drill. It's not just about making the drill, it's about how often you want to make this drill with a certain set of patterns and so on. And the first goal should always be just to make this drill, but then try to think ahead. Set yourself goals that you want to achieve to make this drill in a certain play of pattern, let's say 3 times, 5 times, 7 times or 10 times in a row. This also puts a lot of pressure on you and also simulates match play situations perfectly. And of course, playing drills is not for everyone. Not even pros, not even all pros play drills. But this is something for me which definitely helped me, and maybe it's also going to help you. Please let me know in the comment section below what kind of other videos you would like to see on this channel. I really appreciate that you took your time and listening to this video, and I hope we're going to see us in the next one.